Hello, everyone, and welcome to Psych 265 Fully Online. I'm Professor DePaulo, and I'm going to walk you through the course, how to navigate things, how to make it an easy experience for you throughout the semester. And this is all being done in a Brightspace environment. So if you haven't yet taken the Brightspace tutorial, make sure you take the Brightspace tutorial so you kind of have a feel of what Brightspace is about. Okay, so this is our homepage, Site265 Online. And here I'm going to post all my relevant announcements. And I'm going to walk you through the course step by step here. So I'm Dan DePaulo. I've been teaching at BMCC since 2012. And my main areas here are statistics and research methods. I also teach abnormal, intro, a bunch of other things. But it's mainly statistics and research methods. So this is one of my favorite courses to teach for the last 20 years-ish. So I will be your guide to this online journey, and I hope you find this course fascinating, tolerable. So some of this stuff is just sort of cut and dry. It's not super exciting like abnormal psych or some of the other psych courses you may have sort of encountered. It's more geared towards research and critical thinking. So it's kind of the foundational course, the building blocks. And it's a very important course, especially as you go on to the four-year college and really, especially if you move on to graduate school, where you'll be doing a lot more research and thinking in this manner. So my policy basically is I will respond within 24 hours through email. I'm pretty good with email. I try to get back to you as soon as possible. It'll be within 24 hours during the week, and on the weekend a little bit longer, because on the weekend all kinds of other stuff is going on, and you can't just sort of respond as quickly as you can during the week. However, I will respond to my emails on the weekend in probably a timely manner, unless I absolutely can't. So give me a little more leeway getting back to you on the weekend. You're expected to read the syllabus in full and adhere to the schedule set forth by the weekly guide. The weekly guide tab is the way to follow the course every week. So I set this up to make it very easy to follow. So let's take a look at the syllabus. So to find the syllabus, we scroll down here to course information and we click on course information and you will have the syllabus. You will also have something called Achieve registration. Achieve is your weekly homework assignments, and they are done online. So this is an online course. In order for me to assess that you're doing the course, I need something online, which is Achieve. So you have to do the Achieve. And unfortunately, you have to pay for it. So my suggestion is to pay for the Achieve with the ebook. So you get the free ebook with the Achieve package, and then it's probably the lowest cost. And I'm going to talk about that when we get to the book section of the syllabus. So click on syllabus. This is our syllabus. Here's my email. Phone NA. I have an office phone, but since I'm in and out of the office, I generally get all the messages through my email anyway. So it's just better to call me rather than come to my office. Not call me, I'm sorry, email me. Obviously, don't call me. Email me. It's just easier to get in touch that way rather than show up at my office. I will be able to meet on Zoom. So my office hours are 3 to 6 on Zoom and by appointment. Now I am on campus Mondays and Wednesdays, late afternoon, early evening. So if there was something that had to be done in person, I probably could meet late Monday evening, maybe after 7, or Wednesday evening after 7. So if something had to be done in person, which generally doesn't have to be done in person, Zoom is the best way to communicate. So I'm available for office hours during 3 to 6 on Fridays on Zoom. If you can't make those times, send me an email, let me know. Now, what I would like you to do for Zoom, or anytime you want to meet with me on Zoom, is send me an email in advance to set up an appointment so I don't just have like 10 people trying to get the same time, right? Like, you don't want like 10 people on Zoom coming at 3 p.m. because then people are just waiting and waiting and waiting. It's a waste of everyone's time. So if you could send me an email in advance and we could set something up and I can give you a time and then you don't have to wait. So that's a lot better. So that's what I prefer. I am available, so email me, set up time. We'll do Zoom. Just give me the time because it's just easier for both of us to set that up. So that's the preferred communication. Like I said, I have a phone in my office. I probably won't answer it. I'm in my office twice a week, in and out. I'm not in there that long. I share an office with two other colleagues, which is fine, but it's not the ideal place to get everything done. Now, this is fully online asynchronous, which means we are not meeting regularly online. We are meeting, if you want, on Zoom during my office hours. There's no set time. So as long as you do the course week to week, and that's very important, you must do the course week to week. You cannot just do whatever you want and then do the whole course at the end. That is not going to work. If you don't do any work until the end of the semester and then you ask me, I need to do X, Y, and Z, all these things, open them up again, all the homework, I'm not going to be happy and you're not going to do well in the course. Do the work week to week. If there's a problem, reach out to me, email me and say, hey, I have to do this weekend or whatever. I don't have time to do the work this week. Can I do it next week? And generally, if this is not an every week thing, I'm fine with that. Or you're sick. You can't do the work. Can you make it up? Sure. As long as as long as it's not being abused. And that's really the problem is, you give students too much leeway and they kind of fall apart. They never get things done. So please, if I'm giving you and I'm saying do it the next week, make it up. I'll give you 2 weeks to make it up. Please do that. Because otherwise you create more work for me. And you're not doing well in the course because you're not doing the work. So this course is all about introducing you to psychological research. Students will learn the research process by analyzing ethical issues in research, conducting literature reviews, analyzing data. So we're going to do a survey, and that's going to be the basis of our research project. So our research project this semester is going to be on social connectedness. So how does being socially connected with each other, with various different aspects of your life, whether that be, your friends, your family, your school, etc., how does that social connectedness lead to better physical health, better mental health, and better academic performance? That is the paper you're going to be writing this semester. And I can't express this enough. Everything is going to involve social connectedness. So every writing assignment that I ask you to do in terms of the paper that you're going to be submitting is going to be about social connectedness, not about whatever you want to write. I'm giving you a topic. You need to follow it. I will also give you walkthroughs, video walkthroughs. When I post a video walkthrough, I expect you to watch it and follow the instructions. If you can watch things, read things, and follow instructions and do the work in a timely manner, the course is going to be very doable. If you're the kind of person that does not listen to instructions and just wants to do your own thing, the course is going to be very difficult. You have to be able to watch the videos, follow my instructions, and do the work in a timely manner. That's all I'm asking. If you do that, you're going to be fine. You cannot do all the work at the end. You cannot do all the work at the beginning either. You have to do the work week to week. So I'm giving you a bunch of learning outcomes you could read through here. about using PsycInfo, Google Scholar, understanding APA style, because you're going to be writing a paper in APA style. You're going to be writing a manuscript, a research paper. Understanding IRB, the Institutional Review Board, different types of research design, and the general principles of conducting research and then presenting the results. So you want to skim through the rest of that. Required reading. Loosely version for discovering the scientists within. Now, there's a couple options. At the bookstore, I am ordering the loosely version of the book along with the Achieve access card for one term, one semester. This is more expensive because you're getting a physical copy of the book in some way, right? You use the access card that you get with the loose leaf copy of the book to register for Achieve. So you're buying the Achieve access and you're getting the loose leaf book for this price here, list price. Now, unfortunately, with books, nothing is that affordable. Nothing is really cheap. There are free texts, but for a course like Research Methods, these free texts are very limited. I've looked through a bunch of them. I'm not thrilled with them. I really like the book that I'm having you use, Discovering the Scientists Within, 3rd edition. It's an excellent book. It's really very manageable to read. It's actually enjoyable to read. So if you get the loose leaf, if you like to have something physical to hold and read, then get the loose leaf from the bookstore or get it online. But you have to get the access code for Achieve also. Don't just get a used book without the Achieve access code, because if you do that, you won't be able to do the homework. So I'm giving you the ISBN numbers. Make sure you get the actual product that I'm asking for. And this is at the bookstore. Or the cheaper way, the ebook. Now the ebook comes with Achieve. So if you don't mind reading the book off your phone or your tablet or your laptop or your desktop, whatever you're using, get the ebook with Achieve. I read so many books online. Like, even the publishers won't send me physical copies. They just send me ebooks. Because we're living in the ebook world. We're living in the internet world where the people don't carry around things. Everything's done online. Well, here's your ebook. So if you do this to get the ebook and Achieve, I give you the steps to follow. You want to go to the Achieve site here. So you just kind of put it into your browser, right? And then you want to do, I need to enroll in a course. And then you're going to put in the course ID, which is right here. Just copy and paste that in. Now, it's not letting me enroll because I'm making the video before the start of the course, but the course will open on August 26th. And if you put the code in, you will then be able to register for the course. Now, if you do the ebook with Achieve, you get 2 weeks of free access. After 2 weeks, you have to pay for it. When you pay for it after the 2-week free period, make sure you use the same email address that you used for the 2-week free access so that your gradebook will sync up. If you use a different email address, you're going to be in 2 different rows of the gradebook, and it's going to make my life much harder. So make sure you're using the same email address for the free access, the 2-week free period, compared to the full, purchase, when you purchase it fully. Now let me show you what Achieve looks like. So here's what Achieve looks like. It's going to be this course. So week to week, this is what you're going to have. Now my Achieve looks a little different because I'm the instructor and you're the student, so you may not see all the weeks. Eventually you will, though, as they come up. So you see this little gap I have for the first week. So I'm not asking for any work to be done the first shortened week. Because the first shortened week is kind of, you're not having the full week. You have to get access to the course. You have to figure out what you're doing with the text, whether you're buying it, whether you're buying the ebook. So you need a couple of days to get things, figured out. So I am not putting the first assignment due until the first week of September, right here, September 7th. And you can see that there's 2 topics and there's 16 assignments that are due. Now, can you work on that right away? Of course. If you want to get the course up and running and get to work immediately before Labor Day, that's fine. But it's due after Labor Day. It's due on the 7th. So let's look at what we have here. An orientation assignment. This walks you through what Achieve is. You see these books here. These are your text readings. So this is chapter 1, the first page or 2 of it, the introduction. Then you have 1.1, why research methods are important. If you just click on it, you will get the book, the ebook. The ebook is the same as the regular book, just online. And you can just scroll through all this and it asks you questions here you can answer and then go to the next section. So on and so forth until you're done with chapter 1. Now, if you want to just read the book and you don't want to read it by clicking each assignment here, you can just go here with ebook and read the entire ebook. You can read the entire book whenever you want. But I kind of like that you only read the chapter that you're working on, because otherwise you're going to get confused. If you start reading too much ahead, you're going to get so much information that it's not going to help you do the homework. So I'd prefer you read week to week. And whenever I have a black book, that means you have to do the reading. Whenever there's a points category here, that means it's an activity that you're doing for points. It's homework. And these are your due dates. Once you've done all these assignments or you've gone through all of this, you're done for the week. Right? And at the end, you have kind of, you have a quiz, right? And you have learning curve, which is kind of like a flashcard thing to help you. Okay. So that's week to week, you're going to have the same thing, right? This is what the orientation looks like. It's going to ask you a bunch of questions, give you something to read right here, and it's going to ask you questions. This is what it looks like as the student. Student version, you hit open assignment, you start it. Here's the due date. That's what the student version looks like. So let's get out of here. Then week 3, you're going to have more assignments and more readings. And you keep doing it. As long as you do all of this, Achieve is going to be easy. And it's worth 20% of your grade. So you have to do it. It's going to help you learn. And it's not that difficult. If you do the work, you're going to do fine on Achieve. Those are almost like easy points for your final grade. And you see I have a quiz here that's worth a little bit more. It's not high pressure. It's not really high stakes. It's there just to help you learn. Because I am not going to be telling you week to week what to do. I'm not going to be asking you questions in class because the class is online, asynchronous. So since I'm not around to sort of assess you, I'm using Achieve to assess you. So please do the Achieve every week. It's pretty easy to do. It's set up very easily. If you have like a technical support issue, I would say use a different browser. If you use a different browser and you're still having a tech support issue, then call the tech support line for Achieve. But it shouldn't be a problem. Use a different browser, generally solves whatever issue you're having. So if it doesn't work in whatever browser you're using, try something else. Try Chrome, try Microsoft Edge, try the Safari if you're using Apple or Mac. Try Mozilla. So if it doesn't work in one, it'll probably work in the others. Because, sometimes there's like a little bit of formatting issue between the different browsers. You'll get it to work. If you can't get it to work across different browsers, call the tech support hotline. So let's get out of here. Okay. So now I'm out of Achieve. Let's go back to the syllabus. So as I said, you have a 2-week free trial, and then you have to purchase the copy. So if you're waiting for your financial aid, you'll get a 2-week free trial. Get on top of your financial aid. It's always important to make sure you're on top of that. When you get your financial aid, you'll be able to get the full copy. Course theme: extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. That's Carl Sagan, astronomer. That's a really important concept in psychology. If you're going to say something extraordinary like ESP exists, extrasensory perception, or telepathy, being able to read other people's mind. Now, that sounds crazy, right? Like, psychology is not about that. Well, psychology is about that. There are paranormal researchers, and one by the name of Darrell Bem, who was ridiculed for doing research on extrasensory perception. He was killed by the scientific community. And the reason he was killed, now he had results, but the results weren't good enough for the psychological community. The reason being is he's making an extraordinary claim. He's saying that, okay, he showed extrasensory perception in a certain number of trials on one task. And the community says that's not enough. If you're talking about something like extrasensory perception, you need a lot more evidence. So extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Now, are those claims common in psychology, like the idea of ESP, telepathy, telekinesis? No, they're not. They used to be more common, but the field of paranormal psychology has really gotten ridiculed into non-existence. So it's very hard to have paranormal researchers in psychology these days because the psychological community has shunned them, has completely rejected them. Now, I am pretty open-minded with regard to these things. I am, I'm not like, it doesn't have to be X-Files, right? Like the truth is out there and the government conspiracies for everything. But there are things that we can't explain in the world. And paranormal researchers could possibly explain them. The problem is that the scientific community doesn't want to listen to this. Because they're saying, well, you're making such an absurd claim that you need so much evidence that you'll never be able to find this out, right? It's kind of along the same lines of the alien research. Do aliens really exist? Are we in contact with aliens? Scientific community mostly says no. However, there's a few people in the scientific community that say possibly or even yes. And those people are being shunned by the rest of the community. But there's some really big names there that say yes. And those people with the big reputations are able to kind of deflect the criticism a bit. You don't have that in psychology as much as you have that within astronomy right now. Will it ever get back to paranormal research in psychology? I don't know. I'd probably say no. That there's just too much anxiety, too much distrust for that. Next quote: Google is a synonym for research. That was the author Dan Brown. Google is not a synonym for research, as it say. Yes, Google is not a synonym. I agree completely. Now, Google Scholar is pretty good for research, but the regular Google search is not. Jim's awesome psychology page doesn't have all the answers. Neither does Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a mess. Do not use Wikipedia. Do not use random psychology sites. You need peer-reviewed data, which is found on Google Scholar through journal articles or books. So Google itself is not a synonym for research, but Google Scholar is. And we're going to be using Google Scholar this semester. In terms of technology, I'm going to be using PowerPoint, posted not to Blackboard, to Brightspace. I think that was a Freudian slip I made there with Blackboard, since I like Blackboard much better. There's also going to be an online homework in the Achieve platform every week. And you'll also be using Google Scholar and PsycInfo to find research. Exams and discussion board assignments also online. Evaluation, do the weekly guide. Let me show you what the weekly guide is. Go to Content and go to Weekly Guide. And every week I have a different layout or different topics. Week 1, you're watching this introductory video right now. That's the first thing you want to do, is watch the video I make. If I make a video, that's what you want to watch. That's what you want to do immediately. Because when I make a video, I'm trying to help you. I'm telling you what to expect, what to do. And that's the best source of information for the course, is what I'm telling you to do. So do that. Follow my instructions. Part of this course is following directions. Some students are great at it, and they do well in the course. Other students do not like following directions, and they struggle. Please follow the directions. If you're not clear on the directions, you can email me, and I will clarify for you. If it's still not clear through email, you can come to my office hours or to whatever. If you can't make my office hours, email me another time, and I will clarify it for you. Do not just do the work without knowing what you're doing. If you're following the directions, you're fine. But if something is very confusing to you, it's best to contact me before you submit something that's entirely wrong. So the first thing we do in the weekly guide, we look at the learning objectives. Then we click on Week 1 to-do list. This tells you the time for Week 1, right? The due date here. The topic, the readings in the text or in the ebook. The assignments, here we have Achieve, Welcome Unit, Orientation, and Chapter 1 through Achieve. And the due dates. So that's what you need to do for the entire week. And it's all laid here in the to-do list for every week. After the to-do list, here is the video lecture. So I make a video lecture for every chapter. I've made them already a few years ago. So you have a video lecture for every chapter on YouTube. You have the PowerPoint lecture here. So I've also given you the PowerPoint slides in case you need them for whatever reason. I strongly suggest you watch the YouTube lectures. They took a long time for me to make. I think they're quite good, and I think you'll learn from them. If, however, you have no free time to watch the video lecture for the week, these are the PowerPoint slides. But I suggest you watch the lectures. You'll learn more than just looking at the PowerPoints. Then here's Achieve Welcome Unit. This is when it's due. If you click on here, it'll take you to Achieve. Here's Achieve Chapter 1. Here's the due date. If you click on it, it'll take you to Achieve. And the last two are our videos. So this is Battling Bad Science. If you click on here, it'll take you to the link. And you click on the link, it'll take you to the video. And the same thing here, Amazing Randy, who is a magician, and he talks about psychic powers. This is a classic video that I've used for many years because it debunks the idea of psychic abilities. If you click on that, it'll take you to the video, and you click on the video, you'll be able to watch it. And once you've done all that, you've watched the lectures, you've done the achieve, you've watched the videos, you're done with week 1. And then you wait for week 2. You cannot go ahead because I'm stopping you. I'm not going to show you week 2 until week 2 starts. Now, the only exception to this is at the end of the course, where I'm giving you basically a little bit more time here, final exam, revised paper, right? So every week you're going to do the weekly guide. Let's go back to the syllabus again. Course information, syllabus. So that's achieve. The research paper. In this class, you will have one research paper, APA research paper, manuscript, in a bunch of parts that I'm going to have you do throughout the semester. So you're going to be doing rough drafts first. You're going to be submitting them to me. You're going to have one rough draft for each section. So you're going to have a rough draft for the introduction section, a rough draft for the method, a rough draft for the discussion, and a rough draft for the title, the abstract, and the references, combined into one rough draft. So those are 4 writing assignments. They're all going to be about the social connectedness research study that we're doing in class. You're going to be doing a survey in week 3 or 4. That's going to contribute to the social connectedness research study. So all 4 parts of the manuscript are going to be about social connectedness. Make sure you keep that in mind. They're not just random. They're not just go out and find an article and talk about it. It's going to be about social connectedness, and it's linked to psychological health, physical health, and academic performance. So once you do those 4 rough drafts and submit them, I will give you feedback, and then at the end of the semester, you will submit a final paper, a revised paper with all the sections together. So it's going to be title page, abstract, introduction, method, discussion. Method, results, discussion, references, all together in one paper, one final paper. The results section I will write for you. So I will provide you the results section because it's data analysis and you probably don't have the ability to do the data analysis needed for the paper. Either you haven't taken stats or you've taken stats and you're just kind of learning. So I will do the analysis for you. So that will be due at the end of the semester, the final revised research paper. Now the grade for the paper, which is worth the majority of your grade, it's 40% of your grade for the course. Half of that grade is going to be 50% of the rough draft, right? So half your grade is going to be rough draft average. And half your grade is going to be the final paper score. So what does that mean? That means the rough drafts are important. I do not grade them very hard. I'm not very tough grading. But I will grade those rough drafts, so please give an effort for the rough draft. If you do what I ask you to do, you're going to be fine in the course. It's when people don't do what I ask them to do, or they don't know what they're doing and they just do something because they figure something is better than nothing. Well, guess again. Something is not better than nothing. If you do something that's completely wrong, you're going to get a 0. I don't care how many pages it is. If it's not what I'm asking you to do, it's going to be a 0. So you're better off not wasting your time. If you are confused, you need to contact me to get on track. And I mean at the beginning of the semester or during the week which is assigned. Do not wait to the very end, the last week of the course. Professor DePaulo, please help me. I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't do anything because I was confused the whole semester, and now the semester is over, and I have to write up all the sections of the paper and do all the achieve assignments. No. The answer is no. I'm pretty easy to get along with. But first off, I'm telling you right now, do the work on time. Do not ask to do all the work at the end of the course. Because if you do, the answer is going to be no. I don't care how much begging and pleading and this happened and that happened. And I've heard all kinds of stories. And no, I will not give you an incomplete. If there's something that happens during the semester that is impacting your ability to do the work, you need to talk to me about it. Don't come at the end of the course and say, can I get an incomplete? I had so many things. This happened and that happened. Look, we all have so many things happen. I've had all kinds of tragedy to deal with, all kinds of stress, personally, as a student and as an adult and as a professor. It's tough. If it's totally affecting your ability to do any work, you need to let me know immediately. Then my suggestion would be to withdraw from the class and take the class when you're in a better mindset to take the class. Because what happens with incompletes are students don't do them. They don't complete them. That's one. And two, it's not fair to give some students incompletes when they're struggling, and other students that are struggling don't ask for incompletes. So why should you get like an extra 6 weeks to do the work when your colleague did not get that? And they had similar things happen to them, but they were just able to push through it. So if there's a tragedy or something going on, like serious, please let me know and I'll work with you. But do not come to me at the end of the semester and say X, Y, and Z happened. That's why I didn't do any of the work for the last 14 weeks. Because I'm sorry, the answer is going to be no. And I've given people makeup work and stuff. I've given too much of it. And people, I don't know. It's a big headache for me. It makes my life 10 times as hard at the end of the semester when people have to do all the assignments because they didn't do them during the semester because I don't know what happened. So the answer is going to be no. And it's not a personal thing. It's just that my workload is impossible. If you're going to do all the work at the end, I can't submit the grades. And then everybody gets pissed at me. So do the work during the semester. Class participation, do the work. If you do the work, you're participating. If you don't do any work, you will be marked as never attending. If you're never attending, you'll be removed from the course. So make sure you're doing the work. You're submitting work. It's not enough just to log into the course. You have to submit work to actually be participating. Advocacy and Research Center. If you're having problems with food, housing, financial insecurity, go to the Advocacy and Research Center and see if they can do anything for you. They have access to, they used to have a food pantry. They probably still do. They can help you. Now, are they going to be able to pay your rent? Probably not. But they can help you find programs or find outreach that can help you navigate that situation. They're helpful, so I would use them if you have any problems. Counseling center, very important. If you feel you're having a psychological issue, adjustment issue, too much stress, go to the counseling center. It's free. It's free therapy. That's amazing. You're never going to get free therapy again outside of the school setting. So if you need it, use it. When I was a student, I went to the counseling center pretty much every week because I was stressed and it was helpful. They can help you. So if you need it, use it. I think, it's a helpful resource. Compliance and diversity. If you feel like you're being sexually harassed in any way, reach out to the Office of Compliance and Diversity. That's with another student. That's with uh, anybody on campus. Office of Accessibility. If you need accommodations, like maybe you need extra time on the exams or something similar to that, you need to have documentation and send it to the Office of Accessibility. I cannot give you extra time on anything unless I get a note from them or an email from them telling me to do it. If I don't have an email from them telling me to give you extra something or any kind of accommodation, then I cannot give it to you. So you have to see the Office of Accessibility, and it's every semester. So if you had it last semester, you need to check in with them again to renew it. And finally, plagiarism. Plagiarism. If you're copying and pasting chronically in your papers, it's considered plagiarism. Now, if it's accidental, like you paraphrase incorrectly, that's one thing. That's accidental. You have to learn from that. But if you're copying and pasting large pieces or large paragraphs of text from either an article or online, a website, that's plagiarism. That's a problem. You cannot just copy and paste. You have to put things in your own words and then cite. That's called paraphrasing. You're going to be doing that at the beginning of the course. Put the information in your own words and then give credit to the authors or authors. If you copy another student's paper, whether it's a current student or a former student, it is considered full plagiarism and it's automatic F for the semester. I've had that happen before. Full paper is being copied or half paper is being copied. We will submit everything through Turnitin, which is looking for plagiarism. They will tell me which parts of your paper are copied. And based on that, I will be able to determine whether it's accidental plagiarism, sloppiness, or something more egregious. So that's the plagiarism statement. Grades. Midterm online is 15%. So the midterm and the final are multiple choice. They're both 15%. They're given online. The Achieve homework is 20%. So please do the Achieve. It's going to help you for the entire course. And it's a free 20%. Discussion boards, 10%. There's 10 discussion boards throughout the semester. And the research paper is 40%. Half of that will be your rough draft grade, and half of that will be the final paper grade. So that's a massive part of the grade. So make sure you're doing the writing part and you're doing the revisions. You're making the correct revisions. I will give you all kinds of comments on your rough drafts. You should follow my comments when you make revisions. As I said before, there will be no incompletes given in the course. I also do not give D-. I just don't like D-, so I don't give it. F is below 60. If you are close to 60, I will do everything in my power to pass you if I see you've been trying. There will also be some kind of extra credit, so I suggest you do that as well. If I see effort, I will help you as much as I can. If there's no effort, then I have no need to help you for your grade, right? If you're not doing any of the work and you end up with a 50 average or even a 55 average, if you're not doing anything, then there's no reason for me to help you. I do not like to fail students, but students do fail themselves. These are the topics week to week. As you see that we're ending tentatively on the 14th, that's when the exam and the final paper is due. And that will give you time to work on your other courses as well. I also need time to grade those papers because the final grades are due shortly after the semester is over. So I need at least a week before the holidays to grade your final papers. And I do spend a long time grading the papers. They're very it's dense because I write a lot of comments to try to help you. And make sure you're registered with the registrar's office and you're cleared with the bursar's office for financial issues. And that's it. If there's a change in the schedule, I will let you know. I will be posting more videos. So the next video will be on how to write the introduction section of the manuscript, the social connectedness study. So that will be in a few weeks. And I will give you sort of a rundown on how to write it, what to do, how to do the research for it. And I will also post videos for every part of the paper. And if there's something else I need to post a video for, I will also do that. All of that will be given in the announcements. So you'll see videos posted in the announcements as I go through creating more and more videos for you this semester. So if you need me, email me first. If it's the weekend, wait a little bit longer for me to get back to you if it takes me longer. If you need to meet with me in office hours, email me. Tell me what time you'd like to meet. I will confirm, and I will send you the link. And we will meet on Zoom. So my Zoom office hours are on Friday afternoons. If you can't make it and you need an appointment, send me an email. Let me know what your schedule's like, and I will try to find time in my schedule to match up with your schedule, and we can have a discussion. So email first, and then Zoom. And if you need to meet me in person for whatever reason, it's going to be Monday or Wednesday, late afternoon, early evenings. But I prefer doing everything over on Zoom. If Zoom is great. I mean, I know it's not a great way always to learn things, especially for younger students. You know, trying to learn basics through Zoom was probably very difficult during the pandemic. But Zoom has really changed the way we work and changed the meeting structures. I mean, it's really added another dimension to things. So I'm very happy that we can communicate that way. So that's it for the intro. Hopefully that helps you out. If you follow the directions, you should be fine. And good luck this semester. I hope you enjoy it. If you need me, let me know. Send me an email. And I look forward to working with you this semester. So bye for now. See you online soon with the next videos that I post.